Hi and welcome. Multiculturalism is presented in mainstream media and by leftist politicians as being our strength. The fake mainstream version of multiculturalism is the exact opposite of a strong nation. Multiculturalism forces peoples of different cultures to live together, even though they don't really want to. This imposes restrictions on free speech, or even the abolishment of free speech altogether, simply because someone from a different culture can be offended. It creates tension when two or more groups of people have completely different values when it comes to family, women's role in society, and religion. Something which one group accepts as perfectly normal can be barbaric and unacceptable for the other. Multiculturalism can also have a negative effect on the economy of nations. If two groups of people do not share the same values when it comes to religion and family, chances are they also have different work ethics. For example, the Japanese have very specific work ethics. They are perfectionists, and Japanese products have a high quality, well known around the world. Africans, on the other hand, have different work ethics and a different sense of time. In Africa, now can mean in a few hours or the next day. In Japan, now means this very moment. It would be very hard for Africans coming to Japan to work in the same corporation. Multiculturalism creates tension, which undermines the very fabric of society. This leads to increased violence, increased strain on the social systems, and also segregation. In essence, multiculturalism is very fragile. Had it not been for an enormous support from the political and cultural elites, multiculturalism would have disappeared a long time ago. However, the exact opposite can be said about nationalism. Nationalism is strong when multiculturalism is weak, and vice versa. Nationalism is coherent, and it draws people who are like-minded together. There is little internal conflict. Nationalism is antifragile. That is a term used by Talib Nassim. He coined that word. Antifragile is simply put the exact opposite of fragile. We know what fragile means. For example, a set of porcelain can be said to be fragile. Antifragile is more difficult to understand. It means that something, whether it be a group of people or ideas, grows stronger due to external stress. For example, when a revolution occurs, there are certain ideas that gain popularity. In peacetime, those ideas would wither away and disappear. The more you attack and hit something that is anti-fragile, the stronger it becomes. The more problems multiculturalism faces, the stronger nationalism becomes. In Sweden, for example, back in the 1950s and 60s, there weren't that many people who had strong nationalist views. There's not that much need to express nationalism when everyone around you is the same. However, today, when Swedes in some parts of Sweden are becoming a minority, nationalism is starting to thrive. In fact, the self-segregation that we can now see in Sweden is a result of nationalist tendencies. Like-minded people are drawn to each other. That is the most basic driving force of nationalism. The more migrants Sweden accepts, the more nationalists there will be. If this continues, then at some point in the future, either the migrants will take over or the nationalists will.